Welcome back into another quick episode of the Spaceman 2.0. This is Predictive Programming You in Hypnotic Misinformation Show. So what I'm trying to say with that is these words we generally use every day in English in the Western Hemisphere in North America have quite an impact on our subconscious mind without us knowing it. And if I'm trying to come up with the alternative, if anyone could help me, I have a couple examples, but it is hard to do within the English language. So let's just say good morning. What does morning really mean? Why do we have two spellings for all these words? Knife, night, and night, right? Knife is spelled with a K. All these things in English you have to remember instead of just understand logically like in other languages. So good morning is what? Morning? Morning is when someone dies and you're mourning them because they're gone back to heaven and out of the third dimension and you're missing them, so you're mourning them, right? And if it's a special loved one, you might be in mourning for a while because of how your memories and your feelings are. So good morning, what's good about a morning, right? And awake is a funeral. When you go to the funeral, when the person dies, after you're mourning them, they're dead, you go to their funeral and you have a wake. So why are we saying when we wake up, we are what? Rising from the dead? What are we doing? These are just thoughts. These are just my thoughts. Hello. The first three letters is hell. And look, in gematria, the word hello is equivalent to devil and abracadabra, along with Nero and earth, but devil and abracadabra. So every time you say hello to someone, you're kind of saying the devil and you're kind of enacting a spell on someone by saying abracadabra, which is even in the songs these days, right? Because Aleister Crowley made that word very famous. So let's just look at some meanings of abracadabra from the Steve Miller song back in 1982. And then it was remade with the Lady Gaga song. So of course, and you know, Lady Gaga, she's not really a thing for morality. Abracadabra is a magic word historically used as an apotropaic incantation on amulets and common today in stage magic. But what does it truly mean? Okay, it means in Aramaic, I create like the word. In Hebrew, the meaning, I will create as I speak. Or Aramaic, I create like the word. Okay, so with that being said, abracadabra and hello and devil all go together in gematria. I'll just prove it to you here so you don't have to do your work. There's devil, abracadabra. Okay, those two words, that's all you need. Now, the tax man wants you to go to work, right, for a week. And work has different meanings. I went over that in the Phoenix Truth Rising show, showing the Divine Plan Volume 2, and the true meanings of working on the Sabbath, which really meant he who is like a priest, a minister, a teacher should take a day off. Other than that, you need to work every day of the week somewhat, depending on the situation. So no day is considered more holy than the other in truth. Only that one day should be considered a day of rest for those who are ministers, teachers, and preachers. With that being said, work week. And then when you work through the week, you get weak, right? So for the weekend, you're on the weekend, you're weakened. So your work to get weak for the weekend where you're weakened, to try to regain your strength, to go back to work the next week, to get weak again, to be weakened on the weekend. And what does mortgage mean? Mortgage, morta and gauge. Morta means death and gauge means grip. So with that being said, can we find some other alternative words? So to try to switch it up, Spanish, I know a little bit of Spanish. Spanish has a more correct in meaning in terms of the actual meaning of the word. So when they wake up in the morning, they say buenos dias, which means good day. In the afternoon, you walk by someone, you say buenas tardes, which means good afternoon. And in the evening, you say buenas noches, which means good night. And when someone rises in the morning, the other person might say como descansaste, I can't pronounce it properly, means how did you rest? Okay, and we go to work for a week, but a week is a quarter moon. I don't know another way to say that, but if we can find out another way to say 7 days. And our weekend can be our days of rest, our relaxation, R&R. So we can ask someone, when's your R&R days? I'm not sure, but this can be another way of saying it. But just know that usury is the cause of all death and enslavement upon the planet, which is one of the things that Christ came to teach when he turned over the money changers' tables in the temple and said, this will be the cause of all death and enslavement on the world to come. So with that being said, may you wake up to the words you're using and be conscious of it. And know the truth will set you free. Spaceman 2.0, and I'm out.